Okay, we're down to that darn head and spine line. Holy cow. Your back must hurt. Two things you see on that head and spine line. That's going to tell you how smart you are by how straight across your hand that goes. And then if you got any problems in the spine at all, it's going to show. And I marked that with the little red marks, those little islands. So you're very intelligent. The line goes right across your head. You do have a depression line that hangs down from that, but I'll tell you about that in just a minute. Find your chart that says Understanding Your Cervical Spine, and look down at the bottom of that chart where it shows it shows a picture of a vertebrae down the bottom of that chart. And if you'll know, the vertebrae is the boning process in your spine. And this is looking down on top of the vertebrae. On each side of each one of those vertebrae in your spine, there's a nerve that comes off each side from your spinal cord. That's what runs your whole body. And that nerve goes out to different areas of the body. Your head, your face, your throat, your lungs, your heart, your stomach, your spleen, your colon, your legs, your arms, your hands, and it. Those nerves all end up in your hands and your feet, and some of the nerves from the top part, that top 1 cervical, 2 cervical, what they call the atlas and axis, that hold your skull on, they end up in the roof of your mouth. I better tell you, I'm not just a palm reader. I've got a master's degree in health education, and I was finishing up my master's degree in my 40s. I'm an old school teacher, and I started reading these palmistry books, and I read this book by Dr. Eugene Schuyman, who's an old medical doctor. It's out of print now, but he told how you could see the spine in this head and spine line. And I started using that, and my gosh, it's true. Everything in your spine is going to show in that head and spine line. And it'll show us those little islands if you're out of place. So, find your chart now that says... Oh, I gotta look at this. I can't even remember the name of it. Chart of Effects of Spinal Misalignments. See the spine on the left-hand side? And then the name of the vertebrae, that's each one of those vertebrae in the cervical, thoracic, and the lumbar and the tailbone area. Then the next column is the areas that those nerves go to that come off the spinal cord. And then the last column is the effects. That's the effects that you get when that... when that vertebrae turns out of place a little bit and pinches those nerves and causes these kind of effects. Those vertebrae are very flexible. They'll twist out of place if you stress that spine too much, or if you have an accident, or if you get hurt. I'll tell you the things that ruin this spine is generally car accidents, bike accidents, horse accidents, gymnastics, contact sports like football, soccer, basketball sometimes. Jumping on trampolines is so hard on the spine. If your little kids are jumping on trampolines, be sure you straighten out their spines once in a while. Or if you jump, it looks to me like you might have been jumping on some trampolines. How old are you, 34? Where are you from? Are you... Oh, you're in London. You came from Italy. Oh, I don't know if they have trampolines in Italy. Oh, you were there till you was age 25, weren't you? Well, I'm sure you have all kinds of sports that can damage your spine. because you sure done a number on it, and then that's what's causing that that pulmonary problem, that lung problem. Okay, starting there underneath your Jupiter finger. Underneath that Jupiter finger is where your cervical vertebrae are going to show. And you're all out of the whole cervical area. 1 through 7. So look over there on the effects you get. Depression, that's what's causing your little depression line. ADD, strokes, hay fever, laryngitis. That's right there on that 5C, 5 cervical. And I think that one is, oh, and then further down. And then go down into the, so you're all out in that. That's what's causing some of that. You're getting laryngitis, and what else did you say you were getting? Oh, you had something else that was laryngitis. Oh, suffocation. Oh my gosh. Then go down to the top part of that thoracic area. See, that's 1T through 12T, that's your thoracic area. Starting at the base of the neck is where the thoracic area starts. And that section I've circled in green there, look down at the bottom of the chart, it says this section of the spine is way out of place. And that's causing your medical problems. I think it's twisted the opposite way, because you've got most of these little islands are underneath the line, but you got one that sits on top of the line that makes it look like it's twisted the opposite way. And I think that your vertebrae is kind of twisted right there at the base of your neck, and it's causing that laryngitis and that the pulmonary problems. Let's see, if you live in London, the only way you'll be able to tell is go to a chiropractor or a doctor that can take an x-ray or something. Then you're all out the whole area there through the thoracic area. Well, the top part of that thoracic area. So, underneath that Saturn finger is the thoracic vertebrae. And you're all out at least halfway down there. That includes your lungs. That's why you got that problem with the breathing, with the laryngitis and the suffocation. That's how come you have that problem. Let me see if you've had an accident or something. Usually it'll show in that lifeline with a little circle. Oh, I didn't see that. Must have been something that happened to you before in your childhood to throw you all out of place in that top part. And then you get to that lumbar area, 1L through 5L, that whole area is out of place. If you're out of place in the top part of that spine, it's going to throw you out in the lower spine to compensate so that you can stand up straight. Otherwise, you'd be walking kind of crooked. So you're all out pretty bad in that lumbar area. Look underneath where it says depression line, and there's a line that says health line. It goes vertical. That's your internal organs. You're getting some stress on that. You should see one clean line, but it's a little bit stressed. That's your internal organs, your colon, your spleen, your liver, your stomach. Usually the organs in the lower part of your body. You're getting some stress on that because that spine is all out of place. You're probably going to have to go see a chiropractor and get it straight out. Oh, yes, you are. When you go see a chiropractor, find one that does craniosacral work. They have to be trained an extra 8 months to do the craniosacral work. So when you call a chiropractor, ask if they've been trained to do craniosacral work. And that's moving that top 1C, 2C back in place. Here's how you check to see if that's out of place. Sit up straight in your chair or stand up and turn your head to the left and see if you can get your chin over your shoulder, left shoulder. Turn your chin to the right. See if you can get it to the over the right shoulder. And if that pulls on either side, you're out of place in that 1C, 2C. Also, there's a chart that shows all the nerves that end up in your hands. Pinch right in between those the Saturn and the Sun finger. Pinch the top of the palm and see if that's a little bit tender. And I'll bet you that you'll jump out of your skin when you pinch in there, because that top part of the spine is all out of place. I was working one time at the I don't know if you know what rodeos are. That's where our cowboys and cowgirls go to do their little thing, wrestle the cows, and they always pick a queen and two princesses from the cowgirls, and of course they ride those horses around, and they do little tricks and things. So I'd set up my little table outside the rodeo, and I had the queen and her two princesses come over to the table to have their hands read. They're kind of young kids, maybe about 19, 20 years old in the little gals. Oh, their little spines are so jammed from riding those horses and sitting on those saddles, bouncing up and down. And I said to the little queenie girl, hers was really bad. I guess she rode her horse quite a bit. And I says, doesn't your back hurt? And she says, oh my, it hurts. It hurts so bad. She says, and a halftime during the rodeo, she says, we have to go out in that arena and ride our horses around and wave and smile at everybody. And she says, all the time that I'm waving and smiling, she says, I got big old tears just running down my cheeks because my back hurts so bad. So you're not the only one with a messed up spine. Now, you get a chiropractor, get that straightened up, and when you call, make sure you get a chiropractor that does craniosacral work that can fix that top 1C, 2C. And you get that back straightened up, it's going to erase all those little island marks in there. It'll clean that heart line up. It'll erase that depression line will disappear, and the health line will clean up to where you just got one nice, good, clean line in there. It'll clean that palm right up.